Hey yo, you'll never win with anyone else if you don't start winning with yourself. But let's get to business because there's no intro. I'm the intro. Before we begin, this video is not here to shame poor people, struggling people, disabled people, single parents, workers, or anyone trying to survive in an economy that has gotten more expensive, more predatory, and more psychologically exhausting. Poverty is real, low wages are real, medical bills are real, rent increases are real, corporate greed is real, bad public policy is real. Also, generational disadvantage. Some people were placed in difficult conditions before they even had the language to understand what was happening to them. I'm one of them. But there is another layer we have to be brave enough to talk about. There are people who are not just poor because of the system. Some are also being pushed deeper into struggle by their own habits, emotional spending, lack of financial education, social comparison, convenience addiction, food choices, status pressure, scams, gambling, phone addiction, and the inability to tell themselves no. That is what I'm calling self propelled poverty. Not because every poor person caused their poverty, but because some, keyword some, not all, not most, not many, some, are unknowingly helping the trap keep trapping them. And today we're going to talk about it. So, chapter one, what is self-propelled poverty? Self-propelled poverty is when a person's financial struggle, financial struggle is made worse by repeated choices that feel small in the moment but become expensive over time. It is the person who says they're broke but eats out every day. It is the person who cannot pay a light bill but has every streaming service, delivery app, beauty appointment, barber appointment that charges $100+ alcohol one run, weed purchase, fashion drop, gaming subscription, and weekend outing on autopilot. It is the person who says, I never have money, but never checks where the money went. It is the person who gets a raise and upgrades the problem instead of upgrading the plan. And again, this is not about blaming people who are surviving. This is about identifying the behaviors that currently turn survival into a permanent lifestyle because some people are not just broke, they are financially leaking. Money comes in, and before it even has a purpose, it has already been assigned to comfort, image, impulse, avoidance, distraction, or trying to prove something to people who are not paying their bills. And the danger is that if you do not control your money, someone else has already built a system to control it for you. Self propelled poverty, that's a tongue twister, is not always loud. Sometimes it looks normal. Sometimes it looks like everyone else does it. Sometimes it looks like culture. Yuck. Sometimes it looks like friendship. Sometimes it looks like love, self care. Sometimes it looks like loyalty to people, places, and habits that have not poured anything back into you in years. And that is when the trap becomes dangerous and where the trap becomes dangerous. Because when a person keeps giving time, money, and attention to dead end things, they're not just wasting resources, they're wasting harvest. Humans are natural builders. We are creatures of purpose. We are not designed to pour ourselves out forever with nothing meaningful coming back. I.e., when you're addicted to the phone, you're not getting anything. There's no return. The people who get paid for social media, they could afford to be able to do that because it's their job, it's their career. But a regular person posting all your business online, arguing with random strangers online, constantly consuming pointless news that has nothing to do with your daily life, with your family, with your friends, with the fact that you may be struggling, and putting your energy in that, letting it change your mood, letting it make you do things out of emotion. Even the systems we use teaches us this. When you plant, you expect a harvest. When you work, you expect pay. When you invest, you expect growth. When you charge a phone, you expect power. When you put gas in the car, you expect movement. But people will pour years of attention into apps, celebrities, trends, situationships, dead friendships, dead relationships, Fake communities. I'm gonna make a video about that one. Social media fantasies, then wonder why they feel spiritually, emotionally, and financially overdrawn. If a bank account keeps losing money and nothing is deposited, it overdrafts. If a city keeps losing water and rain does not replace it, drought comes. If a tire has a hole and keeps leaking air, it eventually blows out or goes flat. And if a person keeps pouring into dead end things with no return, eventually they become drained, bitter, broke, confused, and resentful. Not because they had no energy, but because they kept donating the energy to things that did not deserve access to them. It's always sick to see it, but it's commonplace now. Okay. And the numbers behind the leak. Self-propelled poverty is not an official government category. It's a word I made up. So we cannot pull up a clean statistic and say, here are the exact people, but we can look at the symptoms. Millions of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. Many cannot cover a $1,000 emergency. And by the way, the dollar sign goes before the number. There is no place in heaven or hell where the dollar sign goes behind. Anyways, many admit to wasteful spending. Many buy things because they saw them on social media. Many carry credit card debt while still shopping for things they do not need. Rewinding back because I don't really know the audience that I have or will have. When it says millions of Americans live paycheck to paycheck, and then it drops to many cannot cover a $1,000 emergency, then it drops to a different category. Many admit to wasteful spending, which means that many who cannot afford a $1,000 emergency are not the same people as many admit to wasteful spending. A portion of them could be that, but not all of them. Many buy things because they saw them on social media, which goes back to the millions of Americans living paycheck to paycheck. It doesn't say all, it says many. Get it, got it, good. That's the tone for the rest of the video. I won't have to do that anymore, but I'll do it every video because, you know, for people. And the monthly leak can be shocking. For some people, it is $50 here, $80 there, $12 subscriptions, $30 delivery fees, $60 impulse purchases, $100 nights out, $200 beauty or fashion spending, $300 food delivery habits, and then interest charges on top of all of it. That can easily become $100 a month with the dollar sign before the digits equals $12,000, $1,200 a year. $300 a month equals $3,600 a year, which is $3,600. $600 a month equals $7,200 a year. $1,000 a month equals $12,000 or more a year, depending. Well, it's just 12,000, but taxes. And that is before we calculate credit card interest rates, late fees, overdraft fees, missed discounts, emergency borrowing, payday loans, buy now, pay later payments, gambling losses. And if I'm correct me if I'm wrong, I believe you can file gambling losses on your taxes. But anyways, the cost of always being financially unprepared. The real tragedy is that many people are not losing one big amount. They're being defeated by 1,000 tiny exits. A little door here, a little shopping cart there, a little swipe there, a little I deserve this there, a little everybody else is doing it there, a little I'll start next month there. And by the end of the year, the money that could have created breathing room has been turned into receipts, wrappers, screenshots, overdraft fees, and regret. People often hyper focus on the final failure, but they ignore all the opportunities they slept on before the failure arrived. They remember the eviction notice, but not the months of ignored spending. They remember the repossession, but not the nights they spent money trying to look like they were doing better than they were. They remember being broke, but not the subscriptions, fast food, gambling, impulse buys, alcohol, luxury dupes, and unnecessary purchases that kept weakening their foundation. This is how people misread their own lives. They see the collapse, but not the leak. They see the drought, but not the years of wasting water. They see the flat tire, but not the hole they kept driving on. A financial leak does not have to be dramatic to drown you. And social media. Social media turned spending into a lifestyle. There was a time when advertising had limits. You saw commercials on television, billboards, magazine ads, store displays. Now the advertisement lives in your hand. It wakes up with you. It follows you to the bathroom. It sits beside you in bed. It knows what you clicked, what you paused on, what you searched, what you liked, what you envied, and what insecurity made your thumb slow down. Social media did not just change communication, it changed desire. It made normal life look boring. It made peace look like failure. It made saving money look like you are missing out. It made every trip, outfit, meal, body, relationship, car, apartment, and lifestyle look like a competition, the battle who won. And once spending became tied to identity, companies no longer had to sell products. They could sell a version of you, the confident you, the attractive you, successful you, healed you, soft life you, luxury you. They counted me out. Now look at me, you. But here is the problem. A lot of people are buying symbols of success before they build the structure of success. They're buying the appearance of freedom while staying financially trapped. And social media also created a dangerous misunderstanding of rags to riches stories. People see the final clip. They see the mansion, the car, the brand trip, the viral moment, the podcast interview, the influencer sponsorship, the gambling win, the trading secret, the crypto flip, the overnight success story, but they do not see the full truth, the editing, the debt, the fake flex, the overdue taxes that will come back to haunt them later, the rented car, the scam, the years of skill building behind the real success stories. They don't see the failure rate. They don't see people who lost money trying to copy the highlight reel. And that is how purposeless spending hides inside ambition. People think they're chasing success, but they're really chasing symbols. They think they're joining a movement, but they're walking into a sales funnel. The app is no longer just an app. It is a mall, casino, popularity contest, beauty contest, credit trap, dating market, battlefield, comparison machine, and a confession booth, all in one screen. Social media did not invent insecurity. It just learned how to monetize it. I guess that was, yeah. Chapter 4. This is the title for chapter 4, The Age of Financial Awakening. But I'm going to get all these slides off, so we're going to roll back to that one. There is no exact national age when people realize they have been spending recklessly, but the pattern is common. A lot of people wake up somewhere between their late 20s and 40s. Why? Because consequences start stacking. In your early 20s, you can explain it away. I'm young. I'm outside. I'll save later. I deserve to enjoy life. I know 40 and 50-year-olds still saying that. Anyways, I'll make more money eventually. It's only $30. It's only $50. It's only one weekend. Then life starts sending invoices. Rent gets higher. Cars need repairs. And baby, at one point you used to fix your own car, DIY till they die. But now the newer cars, they got it locked. Children come, health changes, debt grows. Baby, first of all, shout out to all of the single mothers doing it and the people, the single fathers too. But some of the people I know, I don't know y'all, so I'm not judging you, but the people I know were broke single and then went on to have multiple kids and kept having children. It is insane in the membrane. Debt grows, credit matters, parents age, emergencies happen, friends move differently, opportunities require money. And suddenly the person realizes they did not just spend money. And also I said people I know, I didn't say friends. People don't even know I have friends because I don't talk about them. Because if a person ain't around, there's no reason for me to speak on them if we supposed to be cool like that. Because if I respect the relationship, I'm definitely not going to speak on you while you're not around because people lie. I've been lied on before to people I care about. And they've taken things I've said that had no meaning to it and took it. And from me opening my mouth, I learned to just shut the hell up. Because if a person gonna lie on me, baby, you got to go balls to walls and make up shit that I never said and make up conversations and interactions that never happened. Anyways, and suddenly the person realized they did not just spend money. They spent options, peace, mobility. They spent their future selves breathing room. That is when awakening happens, not because someone finally understood math, but because the lifestyle finally became heavier than the excuses. And this is also when many people begin blaming everyone outside themselves. Some people learn it from their parents, because I know if I would have inherited my generational toxicity in my family, I would be blaming everything on everyone, and I would be a failure. I wouldn't be where I'm sitting at now. I probably would be on the bench with messed up teeth and no side teeth and looking bad, telling y'all how the world is messed up. And they blame the economy, rich people, the city, their family, their ex, their job. They blame their race, gender, neighborhood, religion, or some community label they were told explains everything. And yes, some outside forces may have put them in a difficult place, but here is the hard truth. Sometimes others put you there, but you are the reason you stayed there. Like, that's really one of the cheat codes to a better life from whatever your life is now, is taking ownership. Hell, for me, I went even hard and took ownership of stuff I didn't do. And that gave me my power back, because once something is in my control, that means I can turn it off. If I took the light switch out the wall and you was trying to go to sleep, you wouldn't be able to turn the light off. But if you went and got your screwdriver and put another light switch in there, you no longer crying about not getting sleep because I took the light switch. You put the light switch back and you turn it off yourself. It's every situation don't have that option, but most situations do. And people not learning in school, which school really didn't have a lot of useful information, but the ability to learn is what school taught people. And if you didn't learn in school, you may not have ever had the ability to learn if you didn't have things you was learning at home, if your parents wasn't teaching you things, because you may have had a parent who thought school was supposed to be the parent that instills everything in you, and they just the ones that make sure you have somewhere to sleep and the meal that they don't feed you at school. So if you're not used to learning things, problems are going to whip your ass. You're gonna get dragged from the window to the wall, from the spring to the fall, because if you don't have that ability, your first response is going to be like people do now: pull that phone out and record and tell a bunch of strangers who about to drag you. Or if you have yes men around you, or if you have younger me, the people pleaser, who gonna keep saving your ass, that's all you're gonna know. And it's a real thing. I know people like that in real life. That is not a comfortable sentence, but is a freeing one. To freedom. Because if everything is someone else's fault, then you have no power. I think the only people who could actually say that are the people who are disabled, the people who've been robbed of abilities of things, people who, but what do I know? I'm just one person. I might be wrong. But if some of it belongs to you, then some of the power can come back to you. Reckless spending feels like freedom until your future self gets to build. Humans are builders, not just consumers. Chapter 5. And that's a chart that you could look at. All I see is the slide under it, but you see poor mental health, difficulties managing money, financial difficulties, increased worrying and anxiety. Then it goes back to poor mental health. It's a cycle. Pretty much anything that you find yourself stuck in, there's a cycle going on and you're not aware of it. If you can identify the cycle of things in your life, and that goes for really anything, then you can prevent things. If you know that somebody keeps throwing trash at your house and you look and see that, okay, the trash is not there 18 hours out of the 24 hours out of the day. If you identify the cycle of, okay, and start narrowing it down closer and closer, then you figure out when the trash comes, then you figure out who did it, then then you can use that in anything. That was a horrible example, but hey, at least I tried. Humans are builders, not just consumers. Humans are natural builders. We build homes, families, businesses, tools, cultures, languages, cities, stories, identities, belief systems, habits, futures. That is why people become miserable when their energy has nowhere meaningful to go. A human being without purpose does not become neutral. They become available to distraction, addiction, manipulation, false communities, bad relationships, scams, celebrity worship, chasing trends, available to filling emptiness with consumption. We work like the systems we use. When we put effort towards something, we're expecting some type of harvest. If a person studies, they expect knowledge. If a person trains, they expect strength. If a person saves money or saves something, they expect stability. If a person invests in a healthy relationship, they expect mutual growth. If a person builds a skill, they expect opportunity. But when people pour into dead end things, there is no harvest. Pouring into phone addiction does not build a life. Pouring into celebrity obsession does not build identity. Pouring into fitting in does not build self respect. All it does is make your respect contingent on the people you fitting in with, and they can decline your respect at any time. They can lower your value at any time. Pouring into long dead relationships does not build love, but it does build resentment. I know about that. Pouring into apps all day does not build wisdom. Pouring into trauma does not build healing. Pouring into get rich schemes does not build wealth. Pouring into gambling does not build financial stability. And pouring into people who only gather to complain does not build community. It builds depletion. And that depletion becomes normal when everyone around you is depleted too. That is how failure becomes a culture, not because a group of people were born to fail, but because repeated failure, repeated excuses, blame, avoidance, and lack of correction. Who lack of correction? Ooh, baby, that bad boy is out there in these streets, can be socially accepted. When everyone in the group is leaking, nobody recognizes the flood. When everyone is overdrafted emotionally, no one recognizes financial chaos. When everyone is spiritually flat, no one hears the tire losing air. That is why purpose matters. Purpose gives your energy somewhere productive to go. Your money a mission, your attention a destination, your pain a transformation point. With purpose, people become consumers of whatever is loudest. And in this age, what it is loudest is usually trying to sell you something. And mental health and the money connection. This is where we have to slow down. A lot of reckless spending is not really about the item, it is about the feeling. People are buying relief, attention, a mood change, temporary identity. They're buying a distraction from loneliness, anxiety, boredom, depression, stress, insecurity, or exhaustion. That is why telling people just stop spending does not always work. Financial YouTube, I'm talking to you, because the spending is not always the root. Sometimes the spending is the coping mechanism. A person feels empty, so they shop. A person feels unattractive, so they buy beauty. TLC, you can buy your hair if you won't grow. You can fix your nose if it say so. You can buy all the makeup that Mac can make. I didn't even know what Mac was when this song came out. I thought she was saying man can make, but you can look inside you, find out who am I to be in a position to make me feel so damn unpretty. A person feels powerless, so they buy luxury. A person feels bored, so they order food. A person feels invisible, so they buy something that gets compliments. A person feels stressed, so they gamble. A person feels behind in life, so they buy something that makes them look caught up. A person feels unloved, so they keep pouring into a relationship that has been dead for years. Dead and Gone, featuring Justin Timberlake by T.I. A person feels purposeless, so they attach themselves to celebrities, influencers, movements, groups, and fake communities to borrow identity. Baby, the fake community. Matter of fact, let's see what the definition of a community is. A community, a group of people living in the same place are having a particular characteristic in common. A group of people living together, considered together with its inhabitants. A body of nations or states unified. Who? Wait. Did it say unified? A body of nations or states unified by common interests. Oh, okay. Yeah, about that. This is why financial literacy and emotional literacy have to meet each other, because a budget can show you where the money went, but self-awareness shows you why it left. A lot of people are constantly complaining, blaming, trauma bonding, and gathering with similar people who validate the same lack of progress. If you could see this video, I know you probably joked out at all of these expressions. But yeah, if you can't see the video, then just imagine a clown and laugh. But nobody in the circle wants to ask the most important questions. What do all these repeated situations have in common? Oh my gosh, for me, I've always hated redundancy since I was a child, just redundancy in any shape or form. Like if I knew I did something like at work or at home, if I knew this person asked for something every day, I'm gonna start doing it automatically because I'm tired of you asking me every day because I know it needs to be done. And so for me, as small as a person telling me to do something I've done already, I'm to the point I don't even say it no more. I don't really have redundant people in my life, thank God. But like I yeah, no. So when I look at redundancy in society and to see that people really play into the redundancy and they don't see no connection to it, it makes me wonder if all those scientific theories are true and if maybe I'm imagining everybody and I'm a brain in the basement or something. I don't know. But sometimes the answer is painful. The common denominator may be you, and that's called the Boltzmann brain theory. If you want to look that up, it's a real theory. It's not me losing my mind. Can't lose something you never had. Not because you caused everything, not because you deserved everything, not because nobody else harmed you, but because you are the only person who has been present for every repeated pattern in your life. If the same type of betrayal keeps happening, study your access rules. If the same money problems keep happening, study your habits. If the same dead relationships keep draining you, study your attachment and block them with no explanation. Just go. Unless y'all have some type of obligation together, then yeah, I'll be an adult. But if not, baby, two fingers in the wind. If the same fake opportunity keeps fooling you, study your desperation. If the same group keeps going nowhere, study why you still need their approval. And also look in the future and see if you keep up with what you're doing right now, what you're gonna be in the future, based off of the everything. Or you could even look in the last 5 years. But people typically do that, and then the shame becomes so overwhelming that they don't even continue with the looking at the information. That's why it's no shame here. Even if I shame you, you don't need to have shame because I don't shame people. But I guess if you're emotional and you're on your way to becoming, a stronger person, it might feel like I'm shaming you, but I'm honestly not. I would have to care, and I don't. I care about you being a better person. I don't care about who you are right now. That's between you and whatever. And key Glock. It requires finding the truth that can free you from repeating it. A budget tells you what happened. Self-awareness tells you why. I love the why. Tell me why. Especially if it's a deceptive person in your life. If you ask why, that's like pressing the launch button on the missile. Because, yeah, what industries benefit from mental health decline? This is where people may get uncomfortable. And if you're uncomfortable, sit down. If you're sitting down, stand up. And if you're standing up, then twerk. I don't know. And if you don't twerk, then do the chicken head. If you don't do the chicken head, then do the Harlem Shake. Do something, but don't be uncomfortable over here. Because there are industries that grow when people are anxious, insecure, lonely, overstimulated, tired, addicted, or emotionally unregulated. One example, dating apps. Why do they now have subscriptions? But I'll cover that in the future subscription video because all these topics, like for me, I'm a deep diver. I'm not a person that's just gonna make statements. It's based on research, experience, and all kinds of other stuff. So yeah, it definitely it's like these videos be long, but when you actually go through them, you see that they worth the time. And thank you for your time. Not every person working in these industries is bad. Not every person in these industries are evil. But structurally, many of them benefit when people are not well. Social media benefits from attention addiction. Fast fashion benefits from trend anxiety. Beauty industries benefit from insecurity. Food delivery benefits from exhaustion and convenience dependence. Ultra processed food companies benefit from cravings and low energy, not to mention the ingredients in there are meant to be addictive. Where is that book at? Let me see. Right here. Baby, I read this when I was offshore. Why is it blurry? Come on now. Like, oh, I guess the light blocking it. I don't know. Turn this light on so you can see it. The way we eat now, like yeah. I just put the microphone close. I hope they didn't get loud. Yeah, that the person did research for over 100 years or something, 50 years, something. But yeah, ultra processed food. If you have to eat it to survive, I completely understand. But if you have a choice, please get away from it. It's not even about the whole body image thing that people always think health is about. Health is not just body image. It's literally other moving parts. And take it from somebody who had 14 through 18 surgeries. I could actually look at the thing and count, but let's say 18 to be dramatic. But anyways, credit card companies benefit when people carry balances. Buy now, pay later companies benefit when people want things before they can afford them. Gambling companies benefit from desperation, dopamine, and the belief that one can fix everything. Alcohol, nicotine, cannabis, and other coping industries benefit when people want to numb themselves. Baby, when I tell you I went to the dispensary, I'm sorry, but these braces and all of these shifting, I have to, like, pronunciation is not the same no more. So yes, I may sound like oh girl from Broken Promises, but it's the braces. Anyway, when it comes to the dispensaries, when I went to one in Vegas, it was one kind of way. And the people that looked sane, the employees looked sane. But the ones in New Orleans, baby, it felt like a crack house. Like, I'm like, ew, like, why is these people like, is they selling crack in here? Or maybe people mix weed with crack these days. I don't know, but them people was too dirty. Yeah. Ugh. Anyways, get rich quick schemes benefit from impatience. Fake investment gurus benefit from financial illiteracy. Scammers benefit from low research habits. And some parts of the wellness and self-help world benefit from when people are searching for the next transformation without building discipline. Baby, be careful with them fitness people. I know some that I like, but I'm scared to recommend them because you don't know what these people doing in the dark. But the stuff they be having y'all do in the gym, baby, it's gonna be spinal cords and tendonitis and all kind of other stuff. All kind of itis is going on. Y'all need to be careful. Stretch, drink water. And if you have caffeine in the gym, you need to have 3 times the amount of water with you. There's no way in hell should you be coming work out with just a damn caffeine drink. Are y'all crazy? Anyways, that does not mean every product is bad. The problem is when people are not consuming from freedom. They're consuming from pain. And the person consuming from pain is easier to manipulate. Look at all the emotional people online. Look how easy it is for them to do stuff. Listen to all of the stories of how people got scammed. It was no intellect involved in that. It was emotions. And the scammers used emotions as the doorway. Emotions are very strong. That is why these toxic creators, red pill men, and all of this other stuff have men going against biology and hating women now, which is so insane because heterosexual men is wired to like women and supposed to be like the same way animals be twerking and making pheromones and making a tail going to 360 to attract women. That's what men were supposed to do through building, through strength, through wealth. That is why most people from the past who was poor, they don't have a lineage now. It's a lot of lineages that died because of weakness. The strong survive because that's what it is. And the fact that these people are selling y'all weakness while they're thriving and surviving and procreating and having comfortable lives is insanity. Anyways, they will pay for hope, status, because that's the way the British people say it, and I like the way they talk. Escape, feel chosen, feel powerful, feel seen. They will pay to believe their life can change without doing the uncomfortable work required for change. And if they do not heal the wound, they will keep renting a temporary version, healing from companies that never wanted them whole in the first place. Huh. Got my drink in my two-step. Drink in my two-step. See, and this is a visual. Trouble holding off unnecessary purchases, obsessive research over coveted products, preoccupation with shopping for unneeded items. Now, granted, when Temu first dropped, I was doing Temu content. It was helpful initially because it was me putting things in my apartment at the time. But the habit part of our brain, when you do something too close together and you don't have breakpoints in it, it can become a habit very easily. And especially how fast Temu stuff was shipping and things like that. I might re-release them videos one day just for a laugh if y'all want to. I don't know how I'm gonna know because I don't read comments, but just pray about it. Or if you don't pray, meditate about it. If you don't meditate, then start your car up and rev it 5 times and I'm gonna feel it. Okay, so scams, gambling, and the desire for results without research. Now let's talk about scams and shortcuts. There are skilled scammers in the world. Some people are professional manipulators. They know how to use urgency, fake proof, false scarcity, emotional language, social pressure to get people to move before they think. But we also have to be honest. Many scams work because people want results without research. They want money without study. They want success without patience. They want the harvest without planting. They want the lifestyle without the discipline. They want the screenshot without the skill. They want to skip the boring part, and scammers know that. That is why scams often target the unaware, the desperate, the financially literate, the emotional exhausted, and the people who do not read carefully. Right now, currently, I know in New Orleans for sure, but I'm sure it's everywhere else. There are people weaponizing bad credit, weaponizing financial illiteracy, and they're buying foreclosed homes or ran down homes for anywhere from 50 to 100,000. They put a little lipstick on it, patching up and hiding all of the problems, not fixing, hiding. They're even painting roofs and putting it as brand new roofs because they're getting people who always dreamed of having a house to buy this house for $250,000, $300,000 that they only paid $50,000 and probably spent $5,000 worth of work on. And now you get the house you wanted, but most people don't realize there's a law to protect people from stuff like that. And most people will probably just continue going back and forth with the person who do it, and they'll just keep leading you on and on until the statute of limitations run out. So yeah, stay woke. A person who will not read the fine print is easier to trap. A person who does not check reviews is easier to fool. A person who does not understand basic law is easier to scare. A person who does not verify a business is easier to rob. A person who is embarrassed to ask questions is easier to manipulate. A person who is desperate for fast money is easier to harvest. This is why low reading levels and financial literacy are not small problems, baby. Whenever you hear me talk about it, I get that. Yeah, it's a dig. But, baby, if I wanted to roast people, I would have more to say than financial illiterate and illiterate. Like, please don't test me if y'all want me to really roast people. I mean, honestly, if you've been in a live with me before on somebody else's page, because whenever I'm doing something that isn't 100% focused, I'll open up somebody's live, some of the people I subscribe to, because I'm trying to have a balance to where majority is real world, but I do still support my people because they miss me when I'm gone. All of them. It's like about 20 different channels that I'm a regular to. But so if you see me in there, then you know. Well, you don't even know then, because that was about 5%. If y'all could dig up my old tweets, then yeah, you would know. It goes far. Anyways, they make people easier to scam, easier to overcharge, easier to mislead, easier to trap in bad contracts, easier to bury in debt, and easier to keep dependent. But also the same way that I can roast, I can uplift as well. I've made it my business to match any negative qualities I have equally in a positive way, because you're supposed to be balanced. You can't be one or the other, because if you're too nice, duh, and if you're too bad, duh. Before you give money to an opportunity, slow down. Read reviews. Search the company name with words like scam, lawsuit, complaints, and refund. Check the Better Business Bureau, but do not stop there. Look for real customer complaints. Read the contract. Check state laws. Ask who profits if you lose. Ask what happens if it fails. Ask why the opportunity needs your money today. Ask why someone with a secret to wealth is selling it to strangers instead of quietly using it. And with gambling, be even more careful. Gambling sells hope to people who need strategy. It makes people losing feel like almost winning. It makes desperation feel like opportunity. It makes people believe the next bet can fix the previous damage. But if gambling was designed to make the average person wealthy, the companies would not be the ones getting richer. Baby, the house always wins. And there's a whole algorithm, especially with modern gambling. Now that it's super digitized, oh baby, they got you in the chokehold. For me, okay, let's be realistic. I have gambling experience. I was never a gambler. I used to frequent the French Quarter areas to support someone who used to perform at the time and would bring snacks and stuff. So I would park at the casino, Harris Casino on Canal Street. And I don't know what it is now because I'm not a gambler. Um, it was if you gamble for 30 minutes, you get free parking. So what I would do was take $10 and then play the penny machines and press buttons every so long to stretch it out to validate my parking. And back then, I used to drink alcohol, so I also would get the free drinks, and I would tip the person bring me a drink $1 every time, or sometimes two, depending on how many I would have. But you probably only get about 2 or 3 in an hour, unless you're an alcoholic. And if that's the case, baby, just go to Walmart and buy a bottle because Louisiana Walmart sell liquor and Walgreens and the gas stations. The churches probably sell liquor too, the way some of these pastors be acting. So when I did that, there were times where I would just have random wins, like 100. Or one time I won $1,500 and they had to take taxes out of it in person. Baby, when that happened, I left. I ran like somebody was after me. If you saw the camera footage, like if I would have died right after that, y'all would have thought that a ghost was after me, or I was schizophrenic and I was seeing a ghost being after me because I got the hell out of there. I already know what it's hitting for because the big wins make you chase a bigger win. Or what the machines do is if it got like a jackpot at the top, it'll keep moving closer to the jackpot to keep you going and making you think, oh shit, if I lead it, somebody else gonna take it. Like it's so much mental gymnastics when it comes to all of these industries. Like, and if you're not aware of yourself to be able to pull yourself back, then you're going to unknowingly fall into the trap. That is why I preach no pastor, because I'm not grifting let me not go there. But that's why I preach self-awareness, because it's important in everything, like really everything. That should have been what we learned in first grade. Even though it's a lot of stuff we shoulda, coulda, woulda, nulda, dulda, but the time is now. Because if we don't start now, what about tomorrow? Like, yeah. So, chapter 9, food, mood, discipline, and spending. Now let's talk about food, because people love separating money, mood, and food like they're not living in the same body. A person can be financially stressed, sleep deprived, eating ultra processed food, scrolling for hours, comparing themselves to strangers, and then wonder why they have no discipline. Also, if ultra processed foods is something that you can't afford to just get away from, or maybe you work offshore and you might be on a ship that the captain is a big back and that's all they have. Try to offset that with fruits and vegetables. Like, still try to hit your metrics, because if you hitting your regular metrics of stuff that your body needs to function, because think of vitamins as gas tanks for separate functions in our body. A lot of that food don't have any vitamins in there. So your body is basically just getting grease or whatever, sugar in your gas tank. And if you've ever seen sugar in a gas tank, discipline is harder when your biology is fighting you. If your food constantly spikes and crashes your energy, your mood follows. If your body is inflamed, tired, undernourished, and craving more, your decision making suffers. If your meals are mostly sugar, refined carbs, fried foods, processed snacks, sweet drinks, and convenience food, you may be feeding the same cycle you're trying to escape. Not to mention, changing what you eat is not as easy as all of these crash diets. Most people that I've seen talk about eating habits never mention the fact that your stomach bacteria, like our body is made of bacteria in certain areas or all areas. I don't know. Don't worry about that part. The part I'm focused on is the stomach bacteria. The stomach bacteria is based off of what you eat the most. So like if I eat a bunch of like baked grill food and just the clean, my stomach bacteria will reflect that, and it'll also do things in my body based off that. But if I'm regularly eating a lot of sugary things and all kinds of other stuff, my stomach bacteria is used to that, because it switches based off what you eat. That's why when you change diets, or if you quit something, you start craving it or you feel weird, that's because your stomach bacteria has to adjust to those things. So it's not as easy as just put down the pizza, Paula. Like, no, it's not that easy. Your stomach bacteria is adjusted to whatever you've been doing. Like the whole body is an adjustment thing. That's why that advice to do stuff is not realistic if it's expecting you to cold turkey stuff. Cold turkey is very dangerous for most things. That is not about being perfect. This is not about judging people who cannot afford organic groceries. Man, look, organic what? This is about understanding that cheap food is not always cheap. Sometimes you pay at the register. Sometimes you pay with energy, mood, cravings, medical bills. You pay with the mind that it cannot focus long enough to change your life. Food is not the whole answer, but it is part of the environment your mind has to live in. And if companies can keep people tired, craving, distracted, insecure, and emotionally reactive, those people become easier to sell. A healthy mind is harder to manipulate. A rested person is harder to rush. A nourished body is harder to drag into chaos. A disciplined person is harder to invest. So yes, food matters. Also, that same stomach bacteria I mentioned previously can impact your mood as well. So yeah. Not because eating a salad will solve poverty, but because every system in your life is connected. Your body affects your mind affects your spending affects your stress affects your eating. Circle of life. I just mentioned cycles earlier. I'll be these things when I write this shit is long. Like this is in the moment writing. So when I'm reading it again, I'm reintroducing myself to my own writing. So when I mentioned the cycles at the beginning, I was not thinking about this. And the loop continues until some become conscious enough to interpret it. The false use of community. Now let's talk about one of the most dangerous manipulations. False community. Humans are social creatures. We work well in groups. We build faster in groups. We survive in groups. Some people do. I survive alone. I've been my most powerful being a loner, as far as generically not feeling the need to have to keep communicating with people, a set of people all of the time just for validation. No thanks. I like genuine communication. I like talking, and when we talk, it's actually person talking to me, and I'm talking to them, and we're hearing each other. We're responding to what each other said after we're done speaking, not cutting each other off constantly. Those kinds of people have no place in my life because I'm too good of a listener to discount my services for an MF who keep talking and they don't even know what I'm about to say next. And anyways, we survive better in groups. We heal better in groups. When the group is healthy, but when the group is unhealthy, failure becomes contagious. You're contagious. People will gather around shared pain, shared identity, shared race, shared religion, shared city, gender, ethnicity, struggle, or shared resentment and call it community. Fill in the blanks with that one. And remember, you filled it in, not me. But not every group is community. Some groups are just organized stagnation. Damn, this shit sound familiar. Some groups are just people validating each other's excuses. Some groups are just trauma bonds with a logo. Yikes. Some people are just complaint circles with matching shirts. Some groups are just failure culture that attacks anyone who tries to grow. I'm sorry, I thought about my family. And smaller minds fall victim to this because the person at the front of the charge can create any narrative, and the followers will one. Well, I gotta redo that sentence. I'm sorry, because point needs to stick. And smaller minds fall victim to this because the person at the front of the charge can create any narrative, and the followers will run with it. They can say the reason we're not progressing is because of them. They can say people like us never get a chance. They can say anybody who leaves thinks they're better than us. They can say success means betrayal. If you do not agree with us, you're against us. Our community does not do that. But remember what community is. Let me bring up the definition again, because I can give my own, but I can give Webster Merriam. I wonder how Miss Merriam doing, even though that person probably been dead for 100 years. Never mind. I don't feel like it. And suddenly thinking disappears. Individual accountability disappears. Nuance disappears. Baby, do people even know what nuance means? Nuance means fine distinction, a subtle difference in or shade of meaning, expression, or sound. The nuances of facial expression and body language is an example. Not a good one, but research disappears. Personal responsibility disappears. Everything becomes a monolith. That's what I'm talking about when I say monolithizing. A monolith, a large single upright block of stone, especially one shaped into serving as a pillar or monument. And they stop asking, what did I do? What did I ignore? What did I keep choosing? What opportunity did I sleep on? What belief system is keeping me here? Those are actual questions I had to ask myself. And it's not a fun thing. Like, none of this is romantic. Like, the ending is romantic, but the work is not. It gets sticky, especially if you have other types of trauma that you may be associated with. That's why I recommend therapy, but also shop around for therapists. Like, they have different categories and different specializations when you look on therapy portals, so that you don't just go to any therapist just to say you went to therapy. You go to one that specializes what you went through. They hide inside the group identity, and the group identity becomes the excuse. This is dangerous because real community should sharpen you. Real community should challenge you, help you grow, should protect the vulnerable without protecting dysfunction, should tell the truth. Real community should not run your life into the ground and call it loyalty. Ha 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 ha. The false, oh, that was a, well, I mean, we're gonna leave that one up because again, I'm getting these slides off. The philosophy of self-propelled poverty, chapter 11. Philosophically, this issue is about freedom to freedom, but not the shallow version of freedom. Not I can buy what I want, not I can do what I want, not nobody can tell me how to live. That is not always freedom. Sometimes that is just impulse wearing a freedom costume. Real freedom requires self-command. The person who cannot tell themselves no is not free. They are controlled by appetite, mood, insecurity, comparison, fear, boredom. Baby, I can't tell you how many WYD text messages were sent to my phone when I used to be in the mix because people was bored. Like, grown people, what you doing? And I'm like, what? Working, blah, 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 blah. What about you? Nothing, just bored. Like, go to hell. Resentment, loneliness, and desire. Aristotle talked about habits shaping character. You know how to ball. I don't know Aristotle. The Stoics talked about mastering what is within your control. Buddhist thought warns about craving and attachment. Christian to the Christians, drop it low. Never mind, I ain't gonna go there. Christian scripture warns about serving money, greed, and storing treasure in the wrong places. Islamic teachings emphasize moderation, charity, and avoiding waste. Many African and indigenous traditions emphasize community responsibility, stewardship, and not living in a way that damages the whole. Across cultures, the wisdom repeats, do not let desire become your master, because when desire becomes your master, businesses do not have to enslave you. They just have to entertain your appetite. That is the deeper issue. A person who cannot delay gratification becomes easy to govern, easy to market to trap, distract, shame, sell to keep poor. Prosperity begins when the person takes back the throne inside themselves. When they stop treating every urge like a command, when they stop treating every group narrative like the truth, when they stop treating every advertisement like opportunity, when they stop treating every comfort as self-care, when they stop treating, I don't know why I've been getting all of these random numbers calling, when they stop treating every struggle as somebody else's fault. The philosophical question is simple. Are you living from purpose, or are you being pulled by appetite? Because purpose builds, appetite consumes. And I intentionally been inserting all of the different religions and beliefs in here, mainly for the Christian people I see online who use religion as a belt to whoop other people, but their lives don't model the same religion that they claim to believe in. And it's amazing how many religious scriptures in the Bible that people's lives go against, but those same people can call other people sinners and tell them they're going to hell and all of this other stuff. And a lot of those people are the ones who are in the way of people growing, because other people follow them thinking that, oh, I'm supposed to follow a leader in this religion, and they leading them astray. for lack of better words. I mean, I have better words, but not on YouTube. Are you living by from purpose, or are you being pulled by appetite? Because purpose builds, appetite consumes. And then chapter 12. What becomes possible when you stop the leak? Now let's talk about the hopeful side, because this is not just about cutting back. This is about getting your life back. When you stop wasting money, you do not save dollars. You create options, quiet, confidence, emergency power, ability to walk away, ability to say no, ability to help people without destroying yourself, ability to invest in skills, health education, tools, travel, ownership, better food, better sleep, better environments. A person who saves $300 a month saves $3,600 a year. That can be an emergency fund, debt reduction, car repairs without panic, a certification. Certifications, baby, hit up 211. I don't know why people think 211 is a joke. You really can get services that can help you either with finances, housing, medical, education, senior care, and all kinds of stuff. Go look at your local job search, especially the government job search place in your area or their website, because they have grants. They have so many certifications. In 2015, I got my TWIC card for free. My offshore career started from that TWIC card that I did not pay for. Then I was able to go to 2 offshore companies that paid for classes with government grants. So majority of my offshore career was paid for by someone else. It's out there. And it's not just that category, it's all kinds of categories. I've seen in Louisiana, I don't know about now, but I know when I was trying to help this lady who was taking care of a broke man, and he claimed he wanted to get a CDL but didn't have no money. So I found they had a grant in Louisiana at that time, and he could have got a CDL for free, but he couldn't leave the weed alone, even though he wasn't paying bills. Anyways, that could be a certification. That could be a laptop. That could be therapy. That could be dental work, moving money, be the beginning of a business, be peace. A person who saves $600 a month saves $7,200 a year. Now we're talking about breathing room. I know it because when I had my first car and I had flat tires, it was an emergency. And then I found out about used tire shops with cheap tires, but then the tires be bald like an eagle within 3 days because they put all kind of fake stuff on there to make it look fluffy. And now as an adult, I actually just recently, within 5 years, or it could be 5 weeks, had a flat tire that happened because of a road hazard. And it was at night, so I couldn't get it fixed that night, but changed the tire and to a dummy, and then got a new tire the next day, and it wasn't even anything. But if it was younger me, that would have been feeling like the world was ending, and then I would have been like the other people, oh, the devil is busy, oh, they out to get me. But no, it wasn't even that. Like it actually shocked me of how nothing it was to me. But that's due to growth. If I was still the person I was younger, mentally and financially, I would be poor no matter how much money. And I've seen it in my family. It was a time, especially before Hurricane Katrina and after the BP oil spill, baby, my family members have seen over $200,000 in all kinds of money. Even some of it was my money, word to the VA. And where the money at now? And where they life at now? In the same place it was before, during, and after the money. So yeah. Now we're talking about breathing room, not millionaire fantasy. Breathing room. The first level of prosperity is not luxury. The first level of prosperity is not needing chaos to survive. Prosperity is having food in the house, having gas before payday, savings when the tire blows, not flinching when the bill comes, not needing to borrow from people who will use it against you, or not loaning to people who borrow and don't pay you back. Because for whatever reason, it's some type of phenomena where people, when they're borrowing, their responses are instant. They know what you text them before you even say it. Like they become a psychic. They could fly, they could sing, they could do everything when they're getting the money. But when it's time to pay it back, oh baby, Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde ain't got nothing on them. But for whatever reason, these people who do it, they don't consider themselves as one of those people because they will share content about the same issue that I just mentioned as if they didn't do it. But that's not the end of there. But once you become more aware, if you're not, or if you already aware and you growing awareness, baby, the people that's already around you, you're probably not likely gonna have no connection to them anymore because Your weakness is what built the connections. People prey on the weak. Even if they call you friend or family or they tell you I love you, they're preying on you. Prosperity is not being trapped in relationships, jobs, apartments, or environments because every dollar you earn already belongs to somebody else. And deeper than that, prosperity is purpose with structure. It is waking up and knowing your energy has somewhere meaningful to go. It is knowing your money has a mission. It is knowing your time is not being donated to people, apps, trends, and addictions that leave you emptier than they found you. That is the prosperity people need to respect more, not the fake rich, the free stable. Word to horses. And the first form of wealth is not luxury, it's breathing room. Stop giving blind money to businesses that do nothing for you. Chapter 13. Now let's talk about where the money goes. A lot of people give their loyalty to businesses that do not respect them, businesses that raise prices, lower quality, underpay workers, destroy neighborhoods, avoid accountability, and then ask the same community to keep supporting them. Meanwhile, people will ignore the local business trying to hire locally, sponsor youth programs, donate to schools, support families, keep money circulating nearby, and build something with the community instead of just extracting from it. So, how do you find better businesses? Start looking for signs of community return. Ask, do they hire people from the community? Do they sponsor local schools, teams, food drives, shelters, or events? Do they partner with local nonprofits? Do they treat workers well? Do they source from nearby vendors? Do they keep quality consistent? Do they respond respectfully to complaints? Do they invest in the area or only extract from it? Are they locally owned, worker owned, black owned, veteran owned, woman owned, immigrant owned, or family owned? Do they show receipts of giving back or only use community language for marketing? You can also search your city's business small business directory, local chamber of commerce, Main Street programs, farmers markets, credit unions, community development financial institutions called C as in Charlie, D as in David, F as in Frank, I as in Igloo, CDFIs, local co-ops, nonprofit directories, neighborhood groups, but verify claims, Google reviews, but read the negative reviews too. Always read the negative, because if you see a pattern, then it may be true to it. Because some reviews are definitely emotional, but some of them also have a pattern in it. Local news stories about businesses that sponsor community work. And most importantly, stop letting convenience make every decision. Sometimes the business that gives back is not the flashiest. Sometimes it is not the one with the best influencer campaign. Sometimes it is the one quietly feeding people, hiring people, training people, sponsoring kids, and keeping money in the community. That's why even though Goodwill, I paused because the first word was not good, but Goodwill have their ways, but the fact that they are a part of people getting jobs and helping people is why I still donate stuff to them. Your dollar is a vote, but more than that, your dollar is labor you already gave away hours of your life to earn. Spend it like it remembers you. Your dollar should not keep funding businesses that would never fund your community. Resources. Now let's be practical. If someone is financially illiterate, that does not make them stupid unless you're in conversations that don't involve you. It means they were not taught. And if someone has a spending addiction or a compulsive spending pattern, that does not make them weak unless they judging other people for other things. It means the behavior has become a coping mechanism, and coping mechanisms need replacement and not just punishment. Here are the resources that can help. And of course, I'm going to read it, but it's going to be in the description because I am here to help. Notice the language that I don't use in these videos. I don't ask you to do a damn thing because I'm not here for that. I'm here to give information that can help people. I don't need y'all to do anything for me. I mean, unless you choose to. But hey, you can gatekeep the content if you want to too, whatever. But that's between you and who? YouTube. The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau has free tools on budgeting, debt, credit, and money decisions. Their consumer tools are designed to help people understand financial products and everyday money management. Okay, so let me pull that up because that's something that needs a visual. because that'd be so musty if I just read the resources and didn't actually pull up the website. You know, even though it's kind of hot, so people are musty. Don't feel bad if you're musty. I'm not though. Sharing screen window. Um, yeah, we're almost there. There we go. Pop out and show figures of financial help. Why did it do that? Oh, I like when I have slow moments. He's a little slow. Okay, so this is the website. Consumer education is in the top left, or you can see the cursor because usually you can't. Resources for yourself, resources for helping others, consumer complaint. Use that because I know a lot of y'all have consumer complaints. You need to. They have money topics, auto loans, bank accounts, credit reports. See, all of this is free. Free, free. But I know some people are addicted to spending money, so you need a price tag to take the information seriously. So just imagine that this is $100 or whatever the bill is for the device that you're using. So if it's your phone you're using, whatever your phone bill is, imagine that you paying that for this. If you need that for motivation. And then rules and policies. They have rules under development, notices, regulatory. That's probably about their website. Enforcement, payments to harm customers, enforcement actions. And baby, see, look, consumer financial, they here to protect you. So stop being out there unprotected. That's like being a celebrity with millions on you and your security guard say, call me when you go outside, and you just walk outside and people rob you every day. That is the equivalent. You have security right here, baby. Or if you're a man, bro, or if you're a married woman, sis, like, or maybe you could be all of that and you don't mind, you like the way New Orleans people say baby. So I'll say baby again. Baby, it's right here, baby. Now there we go. But I'm not selling my accent on this channel. That's why if I pronounce most things, it still slips out, of course, but I could definitely sound much different if I was speaking regularly, but then I run the risk of people not understanding what I'm saying because, no, people do not know how the accent really, it sounds like another language sometimes. And next there is the FDIC Money Smart program. Okay, I should have just left that screen open when, I'm saying I'm not musty, but that was very musty of me to just close that down like that. And we've hit 1 hour and 7 minutes. Yikes. Not really, because long form content help people to get better attention spans. So I'm actually doing charity work right now. Now that we've come to the end of the road. Okay, so that is FDIC Money Smart. Okay, Money Smart. And then why is it, did I close the screen that I needed? It appears so, Bob. Oh, well, I'll get back to it. Okay, we almost there to the, okay, there we go. Money Smart. This is another, and of course, I always go to resources. Just like when I used to online shop, I always went to clearance. Resources, consumer resources, deposit insurance, laws and regulations, my favorite. Because people who do wrong, they know that you don't know, but a lot of times they don't realize they didn't know either because they be playing with some big laws, and it's always fun when the victim has the gun. Pow, pow. And then the next one, let me see what the next one was. Okay. And then we have news, because they also have news about different things. It might include scams, banking industry. Know your risk, protect your money. See, they have a whole campaign. These people want you to protect your money so you can blow it on other things. We are inviting who serve the public to help raise awareness of deposit insurance protections, teachers, resources, analysis, quarterly banking profile, banking issues in focus. What about Centers for Not Financial Resources? Research, not sources. Who we are, conduct and publish news. Okay, yeah, that website is a little bit boring. I'll just go back to the thing. All the other ones will be in the description. As you can see, sharing the screen is not for me. I mean, it could have been if I would have proactively had those websites pulled up, but I didn't bet on me feeling like I should have had to pull them up. But reading the script. Okay, so now future, what the future will look like. Oh, for the rest of them, the National Foundation for Credit Counseling connects people with nonprofit credit counseling agencies. Green Path Financial Wellness is another national nonprofit credit counseling agency that offers, guess how much it is? Oh my God, it's free confidential debt counseling. So all of them credit repair people, baby, they don't even they don't, a lot of, well, I can't speak for all, but the ones that are on social media, all they do is dispute. You can do that yourself. I did that during COVID and went from a low score to a high score. So yeah, no. For people whose spending is connected to emotional distress, substance use, gambling, anxiety, depression, or compulsive behavior, SAMHSAs, baby, I mention them damn near every video, but they're in the description of every video too, because baby, it's before you get to the internet with problems, call all these people. Even if you depressed, call the finance people. I know they finance, but call them before you get on TikTok or before you get on YouTube or Instagram, because not only are some of y'all incriminating yourself, some of y'all are setting yourself up for evidence for future things. If you got children and you know that you and your husband or your baby daddy is not on good terms, these videos y'all posting about, or even men, if you trying to see your children and y'all not on good terms, all of this stuff is evidence in court, silly rabbit. And especially people who do things or get fired or crash out, or y'all admitting to crimes on Reddit, baby, IP addresses are real. Like, please stop, please. People can use findtreatment.org to locate mental health and substance use. And if the issue is an urgent medical crisis, people in the United States can call or text 988 for crisis support. Getting help is not embarrassment. Embarrassment is letting pride keep you broke, sick, ashamed, and repeating the cycle and being in people comments talking crazy because you're miserable, because that's what a lot of negative comments are. It's emotionally miserable people. You can have an intellectual disagreement with a person without being disrespectful to them. A person can have a day where they post about stuff that you don't like without you throwing a whole temper tantrum and saying, "Oh my God, I had unfollowed them." Okay, and if that's why I'm not promoting none of that. I appreciate the people who here by all means, but I'm not here to like the first 5 seconds of formation. That's how I feel. So what the future will look like. Oh, that was the last slide. But the future is going to split people into two groups. One group will become aware. They will learn how algorithms manipulate desire. They will track spending, cook more, support better businesses, save before they flex, treat mental health as part of financial health. Stop confusing looking successful with becoming stable. They will use technology as a tool instead of becoming food for the machine. They will research before they buy. They will read before they sign. They will verify before they believe. They will build before they brag. The other group will become more captured. Their paycheck will go to rent, debt, subscriptions, food delivery, gambling apps, status purchases, social media shops, convenience fees, high interest lenders, fake gurus, emotional coping, and communities that keep them loyal to dysfunction. I mean, it kind of look like that right now, but hey, they will work more but own less. They will earn more but keep less. They will post more but build less. They will look better online while feeling worse privately. And the scariest part is that the trap will not look like a trap. It will look fun. It will look normal. It will look like self-care, culture. Everybody does it. You only live once. Treat yourself. It will look like support the community, even when the so-called community is being used as a costume for dysfunction. Whew. But if treating yourself keeps destroying your future self, that is not self-care. That is self-betrayal. Unless you're gonna die in 6 months, like if you don't have no plans on like a medical illness where they told you got 6 months left, it's no reason you should be doing none of these things. And it's just sad that most people don't realize the danger and outside influence. And the craziest thing about being an adult that I noticed is that all of the people who had a sense of self as a younger person, like for me, I've always been a friend of families, friend of groups and stuff like that, but I've never really liked being in groups because I didn't like the dynamics. It always felt like Destiny's Child when I was around groups of people because somebody was always being the Beyonce of the group. And that's not really genuine to me. I feel like if we're a group, we should all be brains merging together, not one brain leading the rest of our bodies. And people who saw that as a kid, they may have fell victim to a lot of this stuff, but it's more on a solo tip. It's not that it's them and everybody they know, to where you have people you know sending you all of this stuff and reinforcing it, or you feeling pressured by the fact that all your friends got the same jacket that's $300 by some social media person, so you got to get it too because y'all going to take pictures and all of this other stuff. So closing message. So what do? We stop pretending every financial problem is only outside of us. We stop pretending every financial problem is only inside of us. We both can be true. The system can be predatory and your habits can still need correction. Wages can be unfair and your spending can still be reckless. Also, too, if you have a job with benefits, start using your benefits. If you don't like your job, but you got medical benefits, baby, I need you to schedule an appointment for every medical doctor known to man that your insurance covers and go get a checkup. Like, use your benefits. People who work at Walmart, a lot of y'all don't even know that y'all have portals with all kinds of discounts for phone service. I believe AT&T have a discount with Walmart. Don't quote me because I don't work at Walmart, but it might be 20% or something like that. Baby, start maximizing stuff. Whatever it is that you get for dealing with something, use all of it. Even if you don't need it, use it. If it's free, use it. Now, don't be in your house with being a hoarder or nothing, because a lot of people are new age hoarders. In the 90s, it used to be all kind of old, smelly stuff because it was, in the 90s, they had old, smelly stuff. But now it's digital and collector's items, baby. No, 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 no. Businesses can be greedy and you can still be financially undisciplined. Mental health can be real and you can still be responsible for getting help. Food deserts can be real and you can still make better decisions where you can. Social media can be manipulative and you still can log off. Baby, please log off or close the app or something. Put your phone down and do stuff. I remember when people used to be wishing to have a backyard to be able to let their kids play in or they could play in. Now people having backyards, but they inside curled up on the phone. Or the people who be in public talking about they lonely, they be telling y'all how lonely they are, but they don't tell you in public how they walk around looking like a weirdo with their phone in their face like this and not even looking up and running into stuff. Which, speaking of, no, I'll do that on another video. But your family may have shaped your beginning, but they do not have to own your ending. I'm a real example. If you dig in the trash, you'll see my family and you'll see how different we are. I started in the trash with them, but where am I now? I don't know. A shoebox, I guess. Your environment may have influenced your habits, but it does not have to be the final author of your life. And also, I apologize to people who get triggered by people talking about family, because I don't know, but yeah, I apologize for that. But I'm going to continue doing it because that's my truth. I get that some people had better families, but I never attacked families in general. You never hear me say, "Oh, all families are." No, I don't monolith things. I speak on case by case basis. That's why I make sure to highlight when I do speak on real life examples that it was a person or it was a people or it was people I saw, because I don't have a monolithic brain like a lot of the people who are pretty much injecting all kinds of seeds of idiocracy and negativity into people's brain, which is sickening. But it's sad that y'all letting it happen. That's like somebody come in trying to put a vine seed in my yard. I'm gonna chop their hand off, baby. I don't want no vines over here. So stop letting people put vines in your mind. Your community may have given you language, but it should not be allowed to silence your growth. Your pain may explain you, but it should not be allowed to manage you. This is not about shame. This is about power, not the TV show. Because the moment you can identify the leak, you can begin to stop it. And once you stop the leak, you do not just save money, you save energy, time, dignity, options. And you save your future self from having to pay for a version of you that kept choosing comfort over correction. And that is where our prosperity starts, not with a mansion, not with a luxury car, not with a designer logo, but with one powerful sentence: my money will no longer leave me without my permission. And deeper than that, my purpose will no longer be drained by things that were never meant to produce a harvest. Also, too, because I mean, even if it's somebody that I probably wouldn't care for too much, I am mature enough to admit that we all as humans have so much ability, power, opportunity, and things that we can contribute to society. If you think about all of these different people we learned about in history, that's one person. That one person name was able to do this, that, and the third. So all of us have that same opportunity. And now with the internet, it's even easier to get that opportunity. And the fact that people are having y'all so drawn into them that your own life is passing you by while you chasing after all of their business, all of the celebrity stuff, all of the sports stuff, all of these different things, not to mention thinking that your life is normal because all you know is drama. And once you start finding peace, you get cold feet, and then you just stop growing because you want to stick around these people because that's all you know. But it's 8 billion plus people in the world, which is estimated to be like 10 billion by 2050. But I'm sure, never mind, I ain't gonna say that. But yeah, so have a good day. Thank y'all so much.